and a Christian praise, etc. And we didn't find that, but we just thought we might. What we found is that it has more to do with the nurtured and developed spiritual consciousness of the individual than it does anything else, their denomination or whatever, or a person's choice of meditation technique or whatever. The person, of course, we were looking for this anyway, this quality element, and we found it. And so the thing is that the individual is more important. How they are, how they live their lives, and how they are developed inside has more to do with how they're able to convey thoughts that result in answers to prayer or not what group they belong to. It was kind of funny. We thought at first there might be Jewish prayers fighting Christian prayers and Christian prayers fighting Buddhist prayers and all that.
Right.
Who knows?
How about the intention of the prayer? Does this make a difference?
It does a lot, and sometimes you can have confusing intentions in your thought and have all kinds of scattered fire. What we found is, and this gets into what constitutes two of the three main contributions that Spindrift has made to science, is that we feel we were able to test one form of prayer that is commonly known as petitionary prayer. For testing purposes, Spindrift calls it goal-directed prayer, when somebody has a specific goal in mind that is manifested in the outcome. And a lot of people pray this way, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that often what we do when we're goal-minded is that we're projecting what we really want to happen in a situation, and often that is not what is best for a situation. And it leads to a lot of trouble. Goal-directed prayer can be fine, but often it's selfish and it's just what we want. It has nothing to do with quality and has nothing to do with what is best in a situation. So that was one form of prayer we were able to test, and we found that it works, but it ends up pushing what is being prayed for around psychically, but not necessarily having the organism hit the norms and hit the things that it needs to constitute a good result or a good healing. The second intention that we feel is very important and harder to achieve but is significant is what Spindrift calls non-goal directed prayer, where there is not a goal in the mind, where you are simply addressing the organism to be the best it can, kind of like the Army slogan, be the best you can be. It's kind of this thy will be done. It's when you're letting go of your own ego and your own goals, and you're letting what is best and proper for the circumstances to develop. And that, we feel, is the best type of prayer. And in the Spindrift results, we find that when someone prays that way, without a goal in the mind, they are getting rid of a lot of the things in the human mind that are interfering with what is best for the result. And then you get the better result. And so it's a harder thing to achieve because it's not easy to get our egos out of the way and what we want out of the way. But that is the second intention, and we feel that in the results, non-goal directed prayer is the more desirable of the two to achieve. And it produces quality, because quality always does what is best for a situation, and that isn't always what we want to happen. So we feel those two intentions are very significant in the research, goal-directed prayer and non-goal-directed prayer.
How does the prayer know where to go with, it's amazing. How does it work? What, to the best of your knowledge, is the science behind it, if there is any science, or is it still one of the biggest mysteries we have?
Well, I think what you're touching on there is going to be the big thing in the future. And in fact, in my book, A Journey into Prayer by Bill Sweet, which you can look at in the book on the website under Book News, I write quite a bit about this. What does the future hold? And I think the argument is going to come down to, does a qualitative consciousness full of qualities, produce a result that is different than other types of thought? And it's going to come down to that. What you're asking there is what is behind it. Wouldn't you say you're asking what's behind it?
Yes.
Yes. Well, we can speculate, but we can't prove what the causes of this are. It's kind of like asking, can you prove God isn't back of this? No, you can't. But we can. And maybe someday somebody will figure out a way to do that or not. But what we can do is say, this state of mind produces this result, And the argument can be made, if a person becomes a spiritual person and they can produce this non-goal directed result, this I will be done result that's loving, compassionate, and produces order, that being established first is a great big step. We can get into the other arguments later of what's behind it and what makes it work. We just know it's there to use. It's just like electricity. We use electricity, but according to a couple of scientific people I know, they say they really still don't quite understand what electricity is, and there's still a lot of theories developing there too. So, but we do know that we can use it. So someday maybe we will understand more of exactly and precisely what it is, because it changes every day and there's new information every day. So yes, it's an exciting thing to ultimately find out what is in back of this. But I think first things first, let's just show that actually something is happening, and then we can maybe become more sophisticated and figure out what's back of it. Of course, I have my biases, and you may too, but I think that there's a divine law called God in back of it. But somebody else said, "Oh no, I don't want to get into that." But that's a speculation. I can't
Bill,
do it.
What kind of scientific investigation have you done into this theory, and what have your findings been? What have you been able to accomplish under lab conditions that could be repeated again?
Well, now that is the thing. I think what has bothered some people. A lot of people kind of like talking about these things, religion and science, but then when you get down to testing, then you're messing with something. Then you're messing with something you shouldn't mess with.
Why is
what
that?
What we did was, Rob, we set up a laboratory, and we had people from different backgrounds, and healers and psychics and volunteers come in over a number of times and pray for mostly plant systems, mostly lower organisms, different types of seeds, yeast cells, and things on that order. We had some regular parapsychology tests where we were doing psychokinesis tests, the effect of thought on random numbers, things like that too. But what we were looking for was someone who could, one, produce any kind of result, and two, the few people that could produce this ordering result that we were looking for. We developed another term too called ordering effects. We feel the isolated healing characteristic in a prayer that at least is measurable in a laboratory is termed ordering effect.
All right, we're going to have to take it. We're going to have to take a bit of a cliffhanger here, Bill, because I've got to take my news break. Bill Sweet's our special guest, X-Zone Nation. His website, www.spindriftresearch.org. That's spindriftresearch.org. And when you click on the book news, you can find out more about his book entitled A Journey into Prayer, Pioneers of Prayer in the Laboratory, Agents of Science or Satan. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as the X-Zone continues. We're right here from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away. My name is Rob McConnell, and I would like to tell you about a very special lady that I have the pleasure of knowing, and that's Miss Sylvia Anthony. Sylvia Anthony believes the golden years are a time to gear up and get busy, not relax and take it easy. She has faced many hardships in her 84 years, but they have made her stronger and more determined. As founder and president of Sylvia's Haven, a shelter for women and their children near Boston, Sylvia has helped transform over 1,086 lives in the past 27 years, not only with housing, but also providing direction as to where they can go to develop the earning skills they want and need to live free from difficult domestic situations. Sylvia's Haven is everything to Sylvia Anthony, even calling it her magnificent obsession. Women who qualify for the program at Sylvia's Haven receive assistance via guidance counselors to find the appropriate job opportunity. Women and their children may remain at the housing for up to 2 years. At the end of this time, or sooner, a woman who is successfully employed and has an apartment or home may leave Sylvia's Haven to begin a new and independent life. Now this is where you come in to help make Sylvia's dream into a reality. Sylvia's dream is to have a Sylvia's Haven in every state to help as many women and their children as she can, and to help this dream come true. A crowdfunding site has been established which can be accessed at www.sylviasdream.org. Now that's www.sylviasdream.org. With your financial help and support, Sylvia Anthony will continue to help those in their time of need, not only in the Boston area, but with her dream of having a Sylvia's Haven in every state of the United States. Your help is needed to make Sylvia's dream come true. Please visit and give at www.sylviasdream.org. Once again, www.sylviasdream.org. And remember, the only difference between a dream and reality is just doing it. We need your help to make Sylvia's dream come true. Visit www.sylviasdream.org. Once again, www.sylviasdream.org. For the X Zone Radio TV show and the X Chronicles newspaper, I am Rob McConnell.
Hi, this is Eric Rawls of Cosmoverse.com, and you're listening to Rob McConnell in the X Zone.
Hi, this is Blade Runner, and you are listening to Canada's #1 paranormal radio show, The X Zone, with Rob McConnell.
Hi, I'm Laura Sabrin of Feast to Fields Organic Vineyard in Jordan, and you're listening to Canada's #1 paranormal radio show, The X Zone, with Rob McConnell.
Hi, my name is Lady Ashley, the White Witch of Niagara-on-the-Lake, and you're listening to Canada's #1 paranormal talk radio show, The X Zone, with Rob McConnell.
Welcome to The X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I say a little prayer for you. While combing my hair now, and wondering what dress to wear now, I say a little prayer for you. Forever, forever, you'll stay in my heart, and I will love you forever and ever. We never will part. I'll love you together, together. That's how it must be to live without you. Would only mean heartbreak for me. I run for the bus, dear. While riding, I think of us, dear. I say a little prayer for you. At work, I just take time, and all through my coffee break time.
And welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. Bill Sweet is our special guest. Bill's website is www.spindriftresearch.org. And Bill, before we went into the commercial break, I had asked you about any scientific testing that has been done on the power of prayer, and you were telling me about the testing that you did on plants. And could you pick up from there, please?
Oh, sure. We had computers and a way to measure what was going on in the plant. A lot of things. Stress was added to a plant, so it was deviated from normal. And what we did was we measured how people could affect the plants with their prayers and thoughts or whatever they happen to do. And we found that some people didn't get any results, and we found that other people were able to move a plant system toward normal, and we would call that a great result. We call that a non-goal-directed result. We found that they had a loving thought for the plant and didn't put their own agenda into it. Then we found that other people, in fact, did have their own agendas and prayed and tried to direct the prayer so that it would move the plant around what they wanted to happen to the plant. They thought they were doing the best for the plant, but in fact they were manipulating the plant. It was still a psychic effect, great, but it wasn't actually helping the plant. And in that category, there's really two categories of the people. They're doing a goal-directed prayer, by the way. There are people who they were unintentionally harming the plant, and they didn't know it because they thought they were doing what was best for it. But then there were other people who turned out to be actually to be imbued with the ability to do a lot of damage. They were actually intentionally